hey, stimulating thoughts and what you say. Can't figure out where I go. Stimulated thoughts drown my soul, and it's all a dream.
Is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes. It does not matter who I am. What matters is who you are. If you don't know that by now, we have definitely been having the wrong conversation for a long period of time. Is definitely the way that would sound. Anyways, how are you? I hope everything is good and grand inside of your neck of the woods as we are coming into Wednesday, November the 9th. Yes, that's Wednesday, November the 9th, day 313th of the year, and only 52 days to go. So how did you survive? Did you make it out last night? Did everything go the way that you thought? Did you see the blue wave, the red wave, the purple wave, the pink wave? You know, there was a lot of wave mentions of things that were going to be occurring yesterday. So did you get the wave that you wanted? Because all I could keep on thinking of is that song that says, keep it off my wave, whatever the hell that is. You know, that's a Soundgarden song, just in case. Anyways, we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that other place that we do stuff at.
Radio.
Oh, yes, hanging out with our friends at Radio Big and doing the things that we get to do over there. It's always an important time for us to talk about all that kind of fun stuff. So I want to kind of preface this as we go forward today and let you kind of know what's going on. As you are aware, we do broadcast from our station in Orlando. Now, there is a tropical storm that they're saying that possibly will convert into something else and blah, 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 blah. So opposed to having that fear that I will not be able to get to you tomorrow, here's what I'm going to do. We tomorrow will have a special guest host this little show. Actually, we'll probably do it for tomorrow and for Friday. So Jim Polzel will be stepping in and bringing his Safety Wars show to you during this time slot tomorrow. And don't worry, it's not just going to be the audio rendition. It will also be a special video rendition of Safety Wars. So if you're going to be taking a gander, it will not be me here. it will be Jim Posel. So thanks, Jim Posel, for stepping in and taking over and doing the things that need to be done as I can go play hideout as I need to. And then there's a couple of other things going on all at the same time, but that's kind of what was going down. So I wanted to make sure that you knew that ahead of time. I might not appear as I normally do tomorrow. So there you go. Anyways, let's talk right away about the things that are trending inside of the multiverse of ours, because that's going to be important.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, I wonder what was the number one thing that was trending yesterday. I wonder if we needed to talk about it. Trending Tuesday were all the things related to midterm elections, with hashtag landed on Twitter's top 10 included Election Day, hashtag Blue Today, hashtag Vote Red Today, hashtag Go Vote, and hashtag Vote 2022. Oh, by the way, thank you for the person that reached out to let me know on how bad and severely I screwed up yesterday on the very short version of the Jay Allen show that we did, with me calling it the primary elections instead of midterm elections. So yes, thanks for pointing that out. I like when people call me out on my stuff, so apologize about that, but that did happen. Also, Maricopa County was trending after the news of voting machine issues circulated. Maricopa County, located in Arizona, it's one of the largest battleground counties in the country. You would think at this point we would kind of not have so many issues with these things, but that's the way that it was going. Also, Super Bowl champions was trending on Tuesday after the NFL tweeted at the followers asking their prediction for the remainder of the season. Responses included the Chiefs, Miami, Eagles, and the Bengals. And then last but not least, another Marvel Cinematic Universe person has made the list. Chris Evans was trending yesterday after being named People's Sexiest Man. So there you go. Isn't that like 2 years back to back that the MCU has hit it up with there? And wasn't it Paul Rudd last year? I mean, I guess that's kind of a change up when you start thinking about it. I don't know. Just some stuff to talk about. Anyways, with everything going on today, let's kind of go through some of this stuff. We're going to talk about safety in the news. News and safety will rise and shine and move and do all that kind of fun stuff. But then we will get into the groove of things. So if you're not familiar with the show, there's a couple of different ways that you can interact. You can go to callinradio.com. That's the easiest way to do it. You can type in anything there. We'll take a look, see what we can come up with, and go from there. Video messaging, audio messaging, that's all done over there. If you hang out and want to watch the visualization side of this whole thing, which I don't know why you want to do that to yourself, but you can, that's available as well. You can either go to safety.fm, you can go to radiobig.fm, and there is a section that says visual radio. That will allow you to hang out with us visually if you want to do that, or you can just torture yourself on the apps. That's either iHeartRadio, the Radio Big app, the Safety FM app. There's all kinds of different ways that we can do the soundy-oundy of all this stuff that is going on inside of our multiverse of ours as we are doing this. So let's do this. Let's get you into the news, because I am sure there's going to be a lot of conversations about the election. So get ready, because we're going to sit back, talk, and take a look at what the hell is going on inside of the world of the news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Trey Thomas. Gretchen Whitmer will continue to serve as governor of Michigan. The Democratic incumbent fought off a challenge from Republican Tudor Dixon to maintain her position.
Michiganders who worked so hard to make sure that our voices were heard, to make sure that we set our state on the course that is focused on the future, that is focused on solving problems, not demonizing others.
Whitmer has acted as governor of Michigan since 2019. Democrat Wes Moore is the projected winner in the Maryland governor's race, defeating Trump-backed Republican Dan Cox.
It's because you believed that I stand here humbled and ready to become the 63rd governor of the state of Maryland.
Moore is set to become Maryland's first black governor and only the third in the nation. Moore is a Rhodes Scholar, U.S. Army combat veteran, author, and former CEO of the Robin Hood Foundation, anti-poverty nonprofit. Voters in a number of states are weighing in on the issue of legalized marijuana in the midterm elections. Maryland on Tuesday became the 20th U.S. state to legalize recreational marijuana. A similar measure passed in Missouri, while in South Dakota it appears to have been rejected. Arkansas and North Dakota are also rejecting legal marijuana. Elon Musk is selling roughly $4 billion worth of Tesla stock. According to filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission, Musk sold almost 20 million shares of the company. The sale comes after his $44 billion acquisition of Twitter. You're listening to NBC News Radio.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Counting continues in some states in US midterm elections with no precise picture yet of which party will control Congress. North Korea has fired a ballistic missile into the Sea of Japan, falling short of Japanese waters. France is officially bringing an end to its 8-year anti-jihadist military operation in Africa's Sahel, and opposition parties are questioning Rishi Sunak's judgment after a UK cabinet minister quit over bullying claims.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
A San Diego man will spend time behind bars for providing classified information about military aircraft to a foreign nation. Eddie McCoven reports.
67-year-old Shapur Moinian was sentenced to 20 months in prison for spying on behalf of Chinese government officials. The U.S. Attorney's Office says Moinian, a former Army helicopter pilot who worked as a defense contractor, was paid to provide information about multiple types of military aircraft to the foreign officials. The man apparently had the money deposited in his stepdaughter's South Korean bank account before having her send it to him. It's still unclear how much information was leaked and how damaging it could be to U.S. military operations. I'm Eddie McCoven.
The man accused of throwing alcoholic beverage cans at Senator Ted Cruz during the Houston Astros World Series parade is out on bond. The suspect allegedly threw 2 unopened cans at the Republican Monday. The senator wasn't injured. The suspect is charged with aggravated assault and is expected to make a court appearance Wednesday. Def Leppard's drummer says he didn't really want to live after a car accident resulted in him losing his left arm. Speaking to Page Six, Rick Allen said he was very defeated following the accident on New Year's Eve 1984. Now he uses an electronic drum kit that was made just for him. Saks Fifth Avenue is teaming up with Elton John's AIDS Foundation and its Rocket Fund for this year's holiday windows. The iconic department store is unveiling the windows in New York City on November 22nd. It also includes the debut of this year's light show, which will feature John's music. Saks will donate $1 million to the Rocket Fund. You're listening to NBC News Radio.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp-speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have any body to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what could be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
In order to save the planet from cow farts, why doesn't someone just invent really large Gas X pills?
God, what's that awful stench? Radio.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
You would be amazed on how many people find that sound very joyful when you really kind of put it all together. Anyways, it is currently 17 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out and doing all the fun stuff that we get to do. And thank you for hanging out with me on this miraculous Wednesday. Yes. You know, it's that wow day. It's the Whip 'em Out Wednesday. It's a Wednesday whenever or whatever the hell you want to call it, because that's what's going on. So let's give you a special report real quick. Hear ye, I have something to tell you about some recalls that are going on. Yes, that is some recalls. So let's talk about it real quick. Tesla has recalled about 40,000 Model S and Model X cars made between the year 2017 and 2021. Over concerns about the power steering. The electric car maker has issued a software update that's supposed to fix the concern. Tesla internal system shows that about 314 times vehicles registered power steering failure issues, however. Now, it's probably worth noting, though, that recall is getting to be an outdated term, fitting like a roll down the window. You know what I'm saying? Like roll, not like push the button. Where a recall once meant taking the vehicle to the dealership to get the problems resolved, Tesla owners in many cases can resolve the recall issues with just a simple software update. The recall is mostly now just a regulator term, so there you go. Also, we talked about this, but meanwhile, SEC filings show that Elon Musk has sold nearly $4 billion worth of Tesla shares since taking over Twitter. So there you go. There you go. That was some Elon information. So there you go. Some information there going on as we are talking. Also, NASA is keeping an eye on Tropical Storm Nicole that's headed to the Kennedy Space Center, where the Artemis 1 rocket remains on the launch pad. The rocket can reportedly safely stay upright against 85 miles per hour winds, but even if it can't, it probably shouldn't. So there's something to think about, especially with everything else that was going on. But, okay, even as Nicole is likely to turn into a hurricane, NASA is now planning to move forward with the scheduled November the 14th launch. The launch has been scraped because of weather and system tests 4 times since August. So there you go. Hopefully at some point the damn thing takes off. I mean, it's important to do so in regards of what is going on. And, of course, we don't want to have a major catastrophe loss in regards of, of what it would cost in regards of getting that thing repaired if anything goes wrong.
Who truly cares what this guy has to say? Who gives a shit? Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, the CFO of Tyson Foods, they make chicken nuggets and such, just in case, was arrested over the weekend after falling asleep in someone else's bed. Yes, falling asleep in someone else's bed. One more time. Falling asleep in someone else's bed. So that's what happened. How does one fall asleep in someone else's bed in another house, you ask? Well, details are slim, but the arrest reports that 32-year-old John R. Tyson, who's the son of the company's chairman and great-grandson of the company's namesake founder, has been charged with trespassing and public intoxication. He issued a company-wide apology on Monday. So there you go. There you go. I guess speaking of douchebag executives, Toronto's founder and convicted fraudster Elizabeth Holmes has been denied a new trial. The judge overseeing the case said that the motion to retry the case didn't introduce substantial new evidence and didn't convincingly argue that the prosecutors acted improperly. She will be sentenced for fraud conviction on November the 18th. You know, I kind of feel like that one, and I did say feelings. I do feel like that one has taken some time to move forward with. I mean, at this point, there is a documentary series on HBO. There's a Hulu show based around it. And then there's countless news reports on the crap that she's done. So, I mean, I don't know. Hello, Silicon Valley, in regards of what the hell's going on over there. That is for sure.
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, sometimes a bunch of cash stuffed in your mattress is still the safest bet to keep your money. A San Diego man says that hackers stole more than $1 million from a crypto savings account last week. The hackers managed to liquidate his account by conducting over 11,000 trades in the span of 5 hours. To avoid detection by Coinbase, the crypto bank where the funds were held. So there you go. Some stuff going on there. There's still a lot of questions to me with that cryptocurrency stuff as we are talking in regards of having a better understanding on it. I'll tell you, I have some of this stuff. And I'm not I'm not one of those people that says go invest in something you don't understand. But because on how it was explained to me, I was amazed that I have 13 different passwords to be able to get into this account. 13, yeah, 13 different passwords for one account, and you have to enter all 13 in a particular order. It's interesting on how that works. So listen to this. You can too own a Tyrannosaurus Rex skull if you want. The 200-pound fossil of a T-Rex nicknamed Maximus that has been discovered in South Dakota is headed to an auction block on December the 9th. Analysts expect it to go, are you ready for this? For $15 million. $15 million. Yep. That's what it's planning on going for. There you go. So anyways, talking about money, talking about things like that, why don't we just bring in some John Small and let him tell us about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the market?
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Wednesday, November 9th, 2022. Equity markets advanced about 0.5% in mixed trading Tuesday as traders await the results of the midterm elections. The polls were mixed at midnight, so it could be anybody's game with the final vote tallied. The real driver of action, however, is a rise in the energy sector. The put energy sector ETF XLE at the highest levels in about 8 years. The move suggests a bullish tone to the energy market, which has been reporting windfall profits and announcing dividend increases and share repurchases. The risk this week is in the CPI index, which is due out tomorrow. Analysts have been shifting their estimates, and the net result is an increased expectation for consumer-level inflation versus earlier in the week. As it is now, economists are expecting core consumer inflation to run flat at 6.6% year over year, which is a record-setting level of inflation. The takeaway is the FOMC is not done with interest rate hikes, and they could maintain their 75 basis point pace into the end of the year or longer. You can get the inside track at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, Johnny Smalls, for that information right there of exactly what the hell is going on. The Dow added about 333 points to close at 33,160 on Tuesday. S&P added about 21 points to close at 3,828. The NASDAQ added about 51 points to close at 10,616. West Texas Intermediate slid to $88 on Tuesday. Brent crude settled at $95. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.80. And Bitcoin got pummeled. Yes, and I did say pummeled, losing more than $2,000 in value on trading. So now it's at $18,500, give or take. We've been seeing it quite often somewhere in the 20,600 area. And it was trading higher than that at one point at 21.5. And now it's all the way down to 18.5. So there you go. Some things kind of change relatively quick. Anyways, yesterday there was about 2,163 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States. And on Tuesday, there was about 93 cancellations. And I did say cancel. So make sure that you got that right. What else did we see? Let's talk about it because it is Wednesday. Let's talk about the top fiction and nonfiction books currently on the New York Times bestsellers list. So taking it from the top to the bottom to the top, if we are going into the fiction category, at number 5 was Verity. At number 4 was The Boys from Biloxi. At number 3, It Ends With Us. At number 2, No Plan B. And at the number 1 spot in the fiction category, according to the New York Times bestsellers list, was It Starts With Us. If we go to the other side of the equation, it goes something like this. This is the nonfiction category. The Body Keeps the Score at number 5. At number 4 was Waypoints. At number 3, And There Was a Light. And at number 2 was I'm Glad My Mom Died. And at the number 1 spot, according to the nonfiction category, Radio Greatest of All Time, Rush Limbaugh with Catherine Abrams, Limbaugh, and David Limbaugh. There you go. Radio's Greatest of All Time. Kind of intrigued what the book's about, to be quite honest with you. And did the Stern Man make it onto the list? Because, it would have to be mentioned during that time frame. For sure. Anyways, let's talk real quick about some things that are going on inside of the world because it is important. And I guess I can talk about this. Should I talk about this? Yeah, let's do it. A winning ticket in the largest Powerball jackpot ever has been sold in California. Dana Griffin has more info.
Owner who sold that winning ticket, he also walks away with a $1 million bonus. He says he plans to split with his family, who make him the luckiest man in the world.
So the California lottery officials say that one winning ticket was for Monday's drawing was sold in Los Angeles suburb, and it is worth $2 billion. Officials say the ticket matching all 6 numbers was sold to Joe's Service Center in Altadena. If you didn't win, don't throw your tickets away. Officials say the 22 other tickets are worth about $1 million. $1 million. So there you go. Some stuff to think about. I don't know. Do you play normally? I mean, if you do normally play, hey, you never know what could happen. So there you go. Take a listen to this. Republican Senate candidate Herschel Walker is telling his supporters in Georgia it's going to be a long night. Trey Thomas has more information.
Spoke late Tuesday night in Atlanta and said it could be a while before the final results are in.
If some of you have to go home, you can wake up tomorrow morning and see that the new senator for the great state of Georgia is Herschel Walker.
The former football star is in a tight race against Democratic incumbent Senator Raphael Warnock.
I'm going to say to you what I say to my church every Sunday. Keep the faith and keep looking up.
If the race is too close to call, a runoff will be held in Georgia on December 6th. I'm Trey Thomas.
What happened to the Ricky Bobby line? That's what I was waiting for. I mean, because I thought that was a pretty interesting one as it was coming about in all of that stuff as we are talking. So let's take a look around because there is tons of information that I am getting on my news sites, on my news reporting that is coming in. So do we want to go election specific or do we want to go into something else? Because, I mean, there is a lot of stuff to discuss. So let's talk about something else just for the sake of doing so. Illegal dumping into a lot in Grandview Street on South 8 Mile Road is being cleaned up. Take a listen to this because this is coming out of Michigan. I always find these things interesting. Chelsea Sylvester, daughter, took a video of the dump issue.
Concern is the kids over here. You know, everyone over here has kids.
The city responded to a mess in front of an abandoned home that there was yesterday. A stolen car, an abandoned van, and an SUV that were all towed from the home. Crews boarded up the house and resolved the squatting issues. The home is scheduled for demolition. Alicia Johnson lives in the area in Detroit where illegal dumping is being cleaned up.
We have a very nice block, and it's ridiculous that we have to live under these conditions where people are coming over from everywhere else and dumping their trash. If we keeping our block clean, don't come and bring your trash over here because we don't want it.
Now, it's just one of those really interesting things that ends up taking place from time to time in regards of illegal dumping, because no matter on how you look at it and you go, well, you're talking about something out of Michigan. I don't live in Michigan. That's fine. But we're talking about it because it is a common approach that you see go across the board in different areas, regardless of where you live, because it's happening in your town, state, and county somewhere, just in case if you were not aware. Anyways, it is currently 31 minutes past the top of the hour. And I think we should do that thing that we do around this time because it's going to be importante. Importante. Of course, now I have lost all of my buttons.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
So, a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of things to do. Yesterday, it seemed like some people liked my little hack that I definitely took from somewhere else. So let's make sure that we're clear on what we're saying, because I did take that from the Van Camp and Morgan show, just in case. I don't want there to be any thought process that was an original Jay Allen thing, because you have to give credit where credit is due. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about some things that happen sometimes in relationships, sometimes it happens in work environments, and some things that happen in areas that you don't expect. You know that sometimes when you're interacting with people, they can be wrong about something. And you have the option to disagree, because I'm not saying that you can't. But some people, to make the peace, will say, let's agree with the wrong, even though they know it's not right. And sometimes it could be referred to as the make me wrong scenario. And why do people go through this? Because they don't want to rock the boat. Now, listen, there's a lot of things that we can sit back here and talk about today. And some things that you can sit back and think about and go, oh, I understand what you're saying there, or not understand, and that's okay. But when you look at it and think about this, what comes to mind immediately? Have you been in a relationship? Have you been in a work environment where the make me wrong scenario does occur? And you do it to be on good standings. And you do it to make sure that things are still copacetic, even though you don't feel comfortable with what is going on. And I know that that's a tough pill. It's a tough pill to swallow there. But think about this for a moment. For what you do for work, you have to be adaptive in a lot of environments. And sometimes you're going to hear things that you might not, well, quote unquote, agree with 100%. So what do you think is the best case scenario then in regards of that? Because listen, not everybody's going to love what you have to say. And you have to determine where to pick your own battles. And I get it. We have some of those things that we tend to do that we want to fight for everything. And I have a terrible habit of doing that. It is inch mile scenario in regards of fighting it through. What is the best case? I don't know. And that's the problem that I run into in regards of what should we do properly or improperly or the right way, the wrong way, and so on. I have argued with presidents of companies, the CEOs of the companies, to the janitor. And not that the position determines, the outcome or what's best, but I'm just going to tell you, I will argue for the sake of arguing, just to argue. Is that the right thing? No. But for some reason, if you've ever been in a relationship or in a job where you were okay doing the make me wrong thing, then you realize that you're willing to fight for a lot of other things as you move forward. So what do you want to do? What do you look at and go, this will make more sense if I do it in this fashion? It's some stuff to think about because it's a hard time. It's a hard time when you have that weird feeling that you know that what you're doing is making me wrong and you move forward with it. Think about it. There's so many different things that you know, because there is something that will change inside of your life, inside of the way that you feel, that when you know that you're doing something wrong, it's ethically against you. Think about it. It's an ethics thing. If you know that something is wrong, you just can't move forward with it. And insert whatever you want to insert there in that comment. But if you don't agree with something, it is very difficult to turn around and say that you do, even though when you know that you don't. That could be relationship, work, friendships, whatever you want to deem it. Investments. So at what point do you step up and step out? Is it okay to have scenarios in your life for make me wrong? I want you to think about that today, because it's going to be one of those weird things that we get to talk about, and something tells me this will not be the only time that we get to talk about it.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
These days, it can be hard to find and hire the right candidates for your small business. That's why LinkedIn Jobs made it easier to find the people that you want to talk to faster and for free. I have to tell you, even before they ever became a sponsor here on Safety FM, we have used LinkedIn Jobs to help find the people that we have here on Safety FM. It's an easy service to use. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience and use screening questions to get your role in front of only the most qualified candidates. Then use the simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know that every week, nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/safetyfm. That's linkedin.com/safetyfm to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. I know you won't, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing. But not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Here we go. We are coming back in here. It is currently, yes, little currently 42 minutes past the top of the hour as we are hanging out, doing all the fun stuff that we get to do. And this right here is the Rated R Safety Show. Just in case you're wondering, we are still hanging out on Radio Big and Safety FM. This song is called Jam Time. Songs readily available on Spotify and iTunes. This one is by Nam. In case you were wondering where it's coming about, that's who's bringing that over. So thanks to Nam for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. So take a little downloady of this one. Okay, so let's get back into the move and the groove of the things that we get to do around here and talking and hanging and banging and all that kind of fun stuff. So I haven't mentioned this, so let's talk about it just in case. I mean, I should say I haven't mentioned this today. Just in case if you missed it, we will be doing a Safety Differently workshop in Santa Fe, New Mexico, coming in March of 2023. If you want to come and hang out and do the things that we will be doing during that time, go to safetyfm.io. Yes, that's safetyfm.io. And that will cover the information of everything that is going on inside of that neck of the woods. So all you have to do is go to safetyfm.io. It will tell you about what is going on. Tickets are on sale now for the event. That's safetyfm.io for more information. We'd love to see you there, hang out, and do the things that we're going to get to do. It is going to be over the week of March the 6th. Depending on which experience you decide to go down, that's for sure. Anyways, let's talk real quick about some things that are super important. And it will be the most important thing that I will tell you at any point in my lifetime. And that is about my friends at the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. They can help prevent suicide. The Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in distress, prevention, and crisis resources for you and loved ones, and best practices for professionals in the United States. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to 988lifeline.org. That's 988lifeline.org, or you can text the word TALK to 988 or just call 988. Listen, all kinds of information on that website. All kinds of information that they can help you out with. And they can provide you with service providers that's available in your area if you decide to go that route. So a lot of things that are offered from them if you're so inclined to do so. So there you go. 988lifeline.org. Let's continue talking real quick about some things that are going on inside of this world of ours, because it's always important to talk about. Anyways, engaging aging. Yes, we need to talk about that. What things would you like to experience before hitting the ripe age of 40? Yeah, you heard me correctly there. If you're already that old, what's things do you wish you had done before turning the number on the odometer? Starting a family, it was 25%. Conquer a fear, like public speaking said 20%. Learning to cook well, 23%. And volunteering was 22%. Are some of the things that Americans say that they want to experience before turning the big 40. That's according to a recent poll of 2,000 adults that asked people to list the top things that people should be experiencing at that age. The number one thing responders said that they should get done before 40 is having a stable job. That was 29%. The rest of the top 5 in order were owning a car, 28%, going to a doctor more often, 26%, traveling with a person you love was 26%, and owning a home was also 26%. Could someone please explain why there was absolutely nothing here about watching all of Netflix? And I mean that. What's wrong with people's priorities? I mean, or was that just me? I mean, something to think about. And then, unfortunately, I combined all those owning a car, owning a home, and traveling with a loved one, and it's all into one. So, I mean, that's just the kind of the way to take a look at it. And I think it's kind of weird. And I mean, I don't know. If you kind of sit back and go, things I should have done. Because that, I mean, if that's the life that you're living, it's definitely the wrong approach. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. No. Go out there and do the life that you want to do. I'm going to tell you, the worst thing to happen is that you are on your deathbed and you're sitting there talking about all the things you should have done before you got to this point. No. Go out there and do the things that are going to make you happy. And I think that sometimes people have such a hard time with that, with going, well, can we only do what's going to make us happy? I'm not saying to only do that, but wouldn't you like to sit there and go, I have lived my life to my fullest, opposed to going, well, I should have done this. I should have done that. I don't know. Is it going to be worth the cost when it is all set and done?
Another pitfall of our society. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. Let's give an update on Tropical Storm Nicole that is expected to be a Category 1 hurricane by the time that it hits Florida's coast.
The National Hurricane Center says Nicole currently has sustained winds of 70 miles per hour as it approaches the northern Bahamas. It's expected to reach hurricane status when it makes landfall early Thursday north of West Palm Beach. Hurricane warnings are in effect from Boca Raton to Daytona Beach. The National Weather Service is warning of coastal flooding, large waves, and rip currents from the Florida tip to North Carolina. I'm Trey Thomas.
Oh, North Carolina, Florida tip, and there you go. A lot of stuff going on right there in regards to that, so make sure that you're getting storm ready if you are in that area, because that is going to be an important one to talk about as we are moving and grooving. That is for sure. What else are we seeing out there? Because there's a lot of stuff. I mean, I'll tell you, there's a lot of politics that is going on out there, but I don't know if that's really what we want to talk about. Let's talk about a couple of different things real quick. A COVID-19 vaccination site in Colorado Springs is ending its operations.
A step back to normal healthcare infrastructure, where folks, get their vaccines with their primary care doctor, at a pharmacy, here at the health department. It's just a step back to normal.
El Paso County Public Health has announced that the site in Sidedale Mall is now closed. The site originally closed in March, but was reopened in September to help the rollout of the new COVID-19 booster. Although they're no longer offering vaccination, it will be in operation as a COVID testing site, just so you know on what is going on over there. So interesting stuff happening. Take a listen to this. Baltimore police have released body camera footage of a deadly officer-involved shooting. Community activist Tyree Moorhead was allegedly holding a knife while assaulting a woman when the police arrived at Lafayette and Fulton Avenues on Sunday. Police say that shots were fired after Moorhead refused to drop the knife.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Send more units! Send more units! Sir, drop the knife! Drop the knife!
Officer Zachary Rutherford fired additional rounds as Moorhead continued to hold the knife. Investigators say that Rutherford has 3 years of law enforcement experience with Maryland Transportation Authority Police, but has only been with the BPD since March. The body camera videos have turned over to the Maryland Attorney General's office and the Baltimore City State Attorney. The NAACP plans to conduct its own investigation. Police Commissioner Michael Harrison is not speculating on whether the officer used excessive force.
It would be improper for me to say that before the investigation even began, much less completed. So we're going to wait the outcome of the investigation. What we can say in what you just witnessed is that a woman's life was saved.
So a lot of stuff going on right there as we are talking about it. So interesting time as we are talking. With this being said, let's bring in the Motivation Minute. Here's from John Smalls.
Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Ethan. Anne Frank said, "Everyone has inside of her a piece of good news. The good news is that you don't know how great you can be, how much you can love, and what you can accomplish, and what your potential is." I love that quote. It saddens me to know the end of the story for Anne Frank. Such a sad ending. Think of the other amazing things that young lady could have taught the world. Do you have something amazing inside of you? Let it out now while you can. It's sad to think of the many talented musicians who die with their songs left unsung. The writers who die with their best-selling book on a shelf in their mind. That thing you want to do? Do it now. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by AlysaMorgan.com. A new study confirmed the importance of omega-3 supplementation. Older adults who supplemented with 2 grams of daily omega-3 performed better on tests of executive function, had improved white matter microstructural integrity, and increased gray matter volume in their brains after 26 weeks compared to those given a placebo. Additionally, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is a growth factor involved in learning and memory, has increased. Another study found that approximately 3.4 grams of daily omega-3 led to significantly better cognitive function, including verbal fluency, language, memory, and visual motor coordination over a 30-month period in older adults with a median age of 63. There is no doubt that omega-3 is important for brain health. For additional information, check out alessamorgan.com.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi.
Is there omega-3 in gas station sushi? I was just trying to figure that out. I wanted to have a better understanding. Anyways, 54 minutes past the top of the hour as we are talking, hanging and banging. Anyways, at the top of the hour, I will be going over to RadioBig.fm if you want to come and hang out and do the things that are going on over there. Okay, so let's go hot and heavy real quick with some of this. The biggest winners for last night's midterm election was Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who was reelected by shocking margins that showed the shift, especially among Hispanic voters from the Democrats to Republicans, enthusiasm for DeSantis, who also who actually included, Florida Senator Marco Rubio for the re-elections. So there you go. But the Republican electoral upset was mostly limited to Florida. Here's where things were standing around 3:30 a.m. This morning, better saying. In Ohio, Republican J.D. Vance handily won the election by populist message, but it win merely kept Senate seat by the Republican hands. In Oregon, Democrat Tina Kotek and Republican Christine Drayson are separated by 1% margin with about 65% of the votes tallied. In Wisconsin, governor nominee failed to deliver the vision for the leadership and lost incumbent to Tony Evers, who has been kept in check by the Republican legislators. Incumbent Ron Johnson appears to have beaten Democratic Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes in the race of the U.S. Senate with 94% of the votes as of 3:30 a.m. If you want to find out more information, I am sure that there are tons of websites out there that have information on what the hell is going on inside of the election. So there you go. Let's take a look real quick back on this day back in 2015. SeaWorld in San Diego announces that it will overhaul its killer whale show after controversy over the whale's treatment. The show, which has been part of the park's identity for decades, was replaced by the conservation-based show that happened back in 2015. If you're looking at some birthdays for today, I have some of those for you. Let's take a look around. French Montana turns 38. Chris Lane, 38. Vanessa Lachey turns 42. Corey Hardick turns 43. Cisco turns 44. Nick Lachey turns 49. Yes, Nick and Vanessa Lachey are married to each other, and they have the birthdays on the same day. Eric Dane turns 50. Scarface turns 52. Chris Jericho, that wrestler guy, Judas in my mind. He turns 52 today. He's also lead singer to Fozzy. Ryan Murphy turns 57, and Lou Ferrigno turns 71. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, I have some of those for you. It's National Fried Chicken Sandwich Day, World Freedom Day, National Scrapple Day, British Pudding Day, National Louisiana Day, and Chaos Never Dies Day. A lot of things never die, it seems like. So there you go. Some stuff to gander at as we are talking. If you need a random joke for today, I have one of those for you. If a takeout meal feeds me at least 3 times, I consider it groceries. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. Food, music, TV, movie, social media, personal habits, or something else. What is your guilty pleasure? Imagine starting off a phone call like that. You'll really throw somebody off by asking those questions. And then here you go. If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. Question. 45% of women admit that they base their impression of another woman on this. What is it? Their shoes. So what happens if you meet on a beach? That'd be kind of weird. Because wouldn't most people not have shoes? Something to think about. Anyway, so there you go. That's going to sum it up for me. Like I said, tomorrow and Friday, we'll be looking at the Safety Wars show, taking over the Rated R Safety Show. So Jim Boza will be stepping in, taking over, and doing the things that he does. but just doing it during this time slot. So thanks, Jim Posel, for coming in and taking over and doing that. Anyway, so that's what I got for you. Thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, we could not do what we do around here. That is for sure. If I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this. No work of art is ever finished. It is only abandoned. Think about that for a moment. It might really take you places that you didn't expect. I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.